Hello, everyone. Dr. Vicky here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center. It's time for Tarot-Scopes. We're going to be doing the Tarot-Scopes for the sign of Libra. That's Libra Sun, Moon, or Rising for the month of February 2025. Before we get started on that, I want to welcome all my new subscribers. Welcome to this channel. To my tried and true who have been with me for years, thank you for sticking it out. It's been quite a circuitous journey. To my patrons on Patreon, thank you so much for your continued support. And for my new members on my YouTube channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. So we are going to look at your astrology for the month. Before we get there, I want to just talk about the changing vibrations that we are experiencing at this time. Starting with the universal year vibration. Every year, at the beginning of the year, we move into a new universal year vibration. Last year, we were in an 8 vibration, and this year, we are in a 9. And in the tarot, the 9 is the Hermit card. This is a Virgo card. And so wherever you happen to have Virgo in your chart, that gets activated. For all of those people born in the 60s, you have Pluto in Virgo. So now we have to roll up our sleeves and actually do the work, even though for the most part we've been doing the work our whole lives. Uh, more work ahead. Anyway, this is about introspection. It's about shining your light and sharing your wisdom. But people need to find you. So you need to continuously, you need to put your little lighted nameplate outside so people know where to find the wisdom. And it is um, it is a year of separating the wheat from the chaff. And so there's a lot of analysis that goes into this year and a lot of consideration. If we look at the month that we're in, the 2, we see the High Priestess. This is a card of revelation. It's a card of secrets as well, so you could become privy to a secret. A secret could be exposed. You can decide whether you want to share it with others. But this is a powerfully psychic and sensitive vibration. So February is quite a sensitive time in general and specifically because of the preponderance of Pisces energy that's happening in February. And then if we add those two vibrations together, we get the third vibration, which would be the specific vibration for the month and year that you're in. February 2025 is an 11-2, which is a master number, another very sensitive number, an idealistic number, as it were, and of course, justice. So this is about balancing the scales. The scales will be balanced this year. Okay, at this time. So something's going to come up to sort of balance out the scales. And I know many of us are like, yay. But you never know what that's going to actually be. And so I'm going to be, let's take a look at the astrology for you, and then we can move into the card reading. If you're not interested in the astrology, this will be time-stamped and you can jump right to the reading. So let me share this with you. Alrighty. Okay, where are we here? Oh, okay. All right, one moment. Okay, so as we look at this chart, this is for you, Libra. Just a quick description. If you see things in blue, that means the planet is in water. Red, it's in fire. Green is in earth, and yellow is in air. And we can see that there is a preponderance of water this month, a lack of earth, um, some air, but mostly, and a little bit of fire, and mostly water. Now, as far as the fire, Venus, the planet of love, is the first thing to move in this month, and that is your ruling planet. And it's moving into your opposite sign of Aries. Now, Venus will have a retrograde station this year. She has a retrograde period. Her retrograde occurs in Aries and Pisces. That doesn't actually start until, I believe, March. So it's not necessarily significant in this month, but it is something to look forward to because um, uh, Venus is your ruling planet. So you need to take that into consideration. And it will be spending a lot of time in your seventh and sixth houses. So you've already had Venus as we start this month, move from the sixth house, Pisces, in Pisces, into that seventh house in Aries. It will go back into, I believe, the last 5 degrees of Pisces, and then turn direct and move through Aries again. The highlight of that is going to be a conjunction of the Sun um, and Venus at, I believe, 3 degrees of Aries. That is the start of a star point, Aries star point, morning star cycle. And morning stars are generally more aggressive in their nature. They have more of the uh, Taurus energy, survival energy, as it were, as opposed to the evening star, which is much more sort of laid back and has the vibration, has the energy of your sign Libra, which is much more sort of cooperative. Um, so Venus isn't going to be all that cooperative this year. And I don't think that's a bad idea. Now, I do want to also point out that the nodes of the moon, which had been in Aries and Libra for about 19 months, has actually shifted. That happened last month when the North Node moved into Pisces, the South Node moved into Virgo. That is going to be your axis, your karmic axis. It's the sixth and 12th houses is a karmic axis, it's also the axis of healing, and you will most likely be required to do a lot of letting go, releasing, forgiveness, and that's not just you, that's all of us. So we're going to be practicing an awful lot of letting go and forgiving as the North Node moves through Pisces. The North Node points in the direction that we need to go in or take in order to evolve, and we need to evolve into Pisces, which can be very confusing at times. So there's, I think, very little will be clear this year for most of us, and there's going to be a lot of moving on faith kind of energy ahead for all of us. I do want to point out that the majority of the energy this month is in your sixth house of health. So be very cautious about your health. If something comes up, pay attention to it. It is important. So Venus moves into Aries first thing. Jupiter stations direct this month. It's been retrograde. It's up in your ninth house, the house of truth and justice and law. Supreme Court, all that kind of stuff up there in that ninth house, the search, the seeking for truth. And of course, Jupiter expands anything that it touches. So you have been very sort of inquisitive in a way, expanding and trying to understand what is true and what is not true. Jupiter is going to be there for half the year, and then it moves into Cancer. I believe it's July, and then it'll be sitting in your house of career for a year. So, but that's ahead. We do have a full moon in the sign of Leo. The moon in Leo here in the 11th house, the sun in the 5th house. This could actually be a fun full moon for you. Hanging out with the people that you love, I think is very, very important. That full moon is, in fact, square Uranus. Uranus is still, you know, I don't know, surprising us, I guess. Uranus in Taurus. And so the full moon will have a Uranian flair to it, as always, which is about change and sudden things. So I can't say we're used to it really, but we now have come to expect the unexpected most of the time. So I guess we're ahead of the curve on that. Mercury ingresses into Pisces, and then the sun ingresses into Pisces. So we're moving your sun, which is, the illumination, from the fifth house, which is about your creativity. It's about fun. It's about children. Um, and moving into that sixth house of health. Um, the sun also, I said Mercury and then the sun. So they sort of follow each other. Mars stations direct. Ooh, Mars is stationed in direct. Mars has been retrograde since December 6th. It retrograded at about 7 degrees of Leo, which would have been, let's see, where is Mars? Okay, would have been your house of friends. It retrograded back into Cancer, your house of career, on the 6th of January. And perhaps has been wreaking a little havoc in there. Mars retrograde is very difficult to move forward with. Um, and of course, when it's your career, people expect things of you, I guess. But it will be going direct and then moving back through Cancer, where it had retrograded through, and then into Leo, and not really out of the shadow or the influence of this retrograde cycle until about May. So there's still a lot of things that are being worked out. We'll say being worked out. And it's very emotional because Mars is in an emotional sign, right, of Cancer. So we can expect, and you might see emotions being expressed in places that normally you wouldn't see. Like, expressing your emotions in your home is pretty normal, really. But, out in your job, on your job, or, where everybody can see you, especially because Libra does really care about how other people see them. Um, and they have to kind of be, because that's the sign. It's the sign of the other. So we have to know what's expected of us to a certain extent. But there's going to be some unusual and probably maybe some angry outbursts at work. So just be aware of that. We have a new moon in Pisces. It's in the house of health. So this would be a good time to start a new health regime. Um, or even a new job, because the sixth house is the house of work, whereas the 10th house is the house of career. Um, but a lot of feelings, a lot of emotion in both places. And of course, the sixth house, the 10th house, and then the second house, which actually nothing is really going on in the second house at this point. But those are the earth houses. And with all this water in the earth houses, you might start to feel emotional around your sort of financial security, the things that allow you to live your life in some level of comfort, have all this water energy in them. So it's a pretty emotional time. I think the most important thing, or one of the most important things that we need to consider, is not to get caught up in the fear of things, because all this water, especially Pisces and Cancer, really can be very fearful signs. Um, Pisces can be easily, so I want to say duped, but uh, it's very difficult to see clearly with Pisces. So it's, every shadow can be a boogeyman, or every shadow can be a miraculous opportunity. Somewhere in the middle is probably more accurate, which of course you're a Libra, so you're all about something in the middle. All right, great. So let's stop the share. All right. And we're going to do the cards. What did I do with the cards? Oh, here they are right next to me. I'm going to use the B tarot. Now, I haven't used this tarot in a while. This was my Kamala tarot, and of course she is of Libra, so I guess this could be a reading for her. Although she'd have to be actually paying attention and watching me, which I know is not happening. It's all good. It's all good. So what does Libra need to be aware of? What's up for Libra in February 2025? Libra, February 2025. I think a lot of Libras are just um, relieved that the South Node is out of their sign. All that renegotiating of contracts. Okay, well, you start the month very busy. It's the eight of what is this? The eight of Pentacles, the eight of Pentacles. So very industrious. You have your head down, you're doing your work. Um, and what's challenging that is you're waiting for an opportunity to come to you. Like you're putting your head down, you're doing your work, but there's an opportunity out there and you're waiting for it. You've done the work already for it, so it's just a matter of waiting for it to sort of come to you, as it were. Um, at the root, you're in a more isolated place, but it's by choice. It's by choice. I feel like the work there's getting to the work, and then there's this hopeful expectation of good things coming to you. Um, and I believe that at the root of it is a need to rest. And when I said that I think you guys are glad that the South Node is out of your sign, it's been really tough with the South Node in Libra for Libras. The South Node is the place where we need to let go, and there's been a lot of stress on Libra and on that nodal placement because of things like Pluto. So it's been really challenging. So you're resting right now. You're resting. Maybe you're doing good. You're doing the work that's right in front of you, and you're waiting for something good to come your way. In the past, there's a moving away from success or moving away from work, not feeling necessarily. I think this is probably the election um, for some of you, where there was all this, you worked really hard on something, but then you had to leave it because it didn't come to anything. In the sky, we have the Prince of Pentacles. So this is an opportunity. The Prince of Pentacles is really the action of the pentacle. So the action of the pentacle is slow and steady wins the race. There's opportunities for you to coming to you so that you can safeguard the work that you've done up to this point. Now, this is work as in things you can hold in your hand or resources, whereas this in the past was more of an emotional investment. This is actually sort of financial investment. So having the Prince of Pentacles in the sky says be cautious and careful with your resources. In the immediate future, we have the Seven of Swords. Yeah, there's going to be this is abuse of power, or somebody's trying to steal something. Um, so the general environment out there is not, um, there are people out there trying to take advantage. And I think that's why um, at the root of this is a need to sort of isolate. So um, if people come with you with these ideas that sound too good to be true, or I'm going to help you and you didn't ask for help, those are the people that you have to watch for. How it's seen from the outside. Five of Swords, that you're under attack, that you feel, and as a Libra, in a way, you sort of, you sort of, it's the rule of law, right? It's what's fair, it's what's honest, it's it's what equal, and that whole idea of equality and the like is sort of under attack now. So I'm sure you're aware of it. In the domestic situation, we have the Prince of Wands. The Prince of Wands is really somebody who is optimistic and wants to spread the good word, that kind of energy. It's fire, it's excitable, it's exciting. It's in your domestic situation. So there is somebody in your domestic situation that's a buzz. I guess, abuzz with energy. Okay. So that could be a child, that could be somebody in your life, a male, definitely. Hopes and fears, the world. This is about change and the end of an era and the beginning of a new. I think that the anxiety comes with, well, what is this new era going to be about? And we end with the Prince of Swords. Okay, so we've had three princes, right? The Prince of Swords, the Prince of Wands, and didn't we have? Yeah, the Prince of Pentacles. So there's a lot of action. All the princes are action. This can be somebody who fights for what is right, or this is somebody who can create a lot of chaos. So I'm going to continue to pull just to see. Oh, we have strength here. So the strength coming up at the end says there are challenges here, but it's nothing that you, at this point, that you can handle. Underneath it all, we have the Emperor. This is about dominion over your life, being an authority in your own life. The Ten of Jars, seeking happiness. And the Two of Swords, indecision. Um, I still think you're trying to figure out what exactly is going to make you happy or feel at peace. I think that's that's like sort of an experiment for you for this month. So you can get stuff done, watch your money. There are people out there who are trying to take advantage, talking out of both sides of their mouth. Um, guard against that. Guard against that, and just, one foot in front of the other this month. One foot in front of the other. I think good work is beneficial. Underneath it all is heartbreak. So you've had your heart broken, you have felt betrayed. Mourning, the Five of Cups, and the end of something. I feel like you're really suffering. Excuse me. You're really suffering the injustice that you see. All right, so let's pull a another card here. We're going to pull I'm going to pull an oracle card. So this is I can't sugarcoat this one. This is going to be a tough month, Libra. But just put your head to your work. Do the things that make you feel fulfilled. There's a lot of stuff that you're processing right now, and and you do have to be very careful of your health this month. All right. I'm also pulling a Starseed Oracle card just to see if we can get a little more information. Those were pretty tough cards. So let's see if we can get a little positive spin on things or something to round it out. Something for some further elucidation. You can see why Venus is getting ready to fight the good fight, right? With what we're facing here. All right. Called. Called. I don't know if that's easier, but all right. Oh, here we go. All right, I'll hold it up. Just want to find it. All right. This has come up. This third time this card's come up. Soul gifts and training. It is time to step up. You came to Earth with a double mission, to grow as a soul and to bring about a shift in consciousness. The best way to fulfill these personal and collective purposes is to trust that what it is that your soul is calling you toward, for it's encoded within the most direct path forward. Your soul has many unique gifts that it came here to share. Some of you may already be aware of it, others you just beginning to uncover. You're being called to remember that your soul intelligently chose the perfect conditions to carry out your soul's mission and share your soul's gift. You are being called toward a creative project, a passion, or an adventure. This card is to confirm you that you are facing the right way and that at this moment right here is destined. So yes, so we didn't. If you're here right now, you didn't choose an easy path to be on, and so we need to support ourselves through it and support other people who are trying to accomplish the same thing, and together um, we can move forward. But February is going to be a rest year month for you, and a time of really, I think, spending a lot of time figuring out what went wrong, um, how could this be happening, those kind of questions. And I guess a lot of this is as I said about the Pisces energy. A lot of this is going to be a faith, a leap of faith, even if we can't see where we're headed or what's going to happen in the end. So take care of yourself this month. It's important, especially for you, Libra. I'll see you again next month. As again, take care of yourself and namaste.